Cuban cigars. For me, Cuban cigars aren't just a pastime, they're a connection to history, a moment of relaxation, and a celebration of craftsmanship. Today, I'm sharing my passion with you. We'll explore the nuances of these exceptional cigars, discuss my favorite blends, and maybe even discover a new favorite together. So, sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the experience. What is a Cuban cigar? To earn the title of a Havana cigar, the cigar must be made by hand in Cuba using only leaves that have been grown in one of the 4 main tobacco regions on the island. It must also be produced to the exacting standards laid down by the Cuban cigar industry. Tobacco farming. To make a great cigar you need great tobacco, and nowhere in the world grows tobacco better than Cuba. However, only a small percentage of the island's tobacco-producing land is capable of providing leaves of the quality required to make Havana cigars. Cuba has 4 main tobacco-growing regions, and within just 2 of these, Pinar del Rio and Partido, there are a select number of zones that house districts prized above all others for the quality of their harvest. All tobacco grown for Havana cigars comes from a seed known as Tabaco Negro Cubano, Cuban black tobacco, that has been perfected over the centuries. Havana cigar brands. It is over 200 years since the first cigar trademark was registered in Cuba. In that time countless brands have come and gone, reflecting the rich and colorful history of Havana cigars that is unrivaled anywhere else in the world. Many of the current 27 brands have been in production for well over a century, and each has a story to tell. Cohiba, 1966, Havana's flagship brand, was created for the late President Fidel Castro. Production began in 1966, but the cigars were not released to the public until 16 years later. Montecristo, 1935, the best-selling handmade cigar brand in the world. Named after the Alexandre Dumas novel The Count of Monte Cristo, which was a firm favorite when read to the cigar rollers at the factory where it was founded. Romeo y Julieta, 1875, named after Shakespeare's play that had proved popular when read to the rollers. At one point Romeo y Julieta produced up to 20,000 different bands for its cigars. It is also the brand that made the first cigar named after Sir Winston Churchill. Partagars, 1845, Don Jaime Partagars is the man widely credited with starting the tradition in 1865 of having rollers read to while they worked. Sadly, Don Jaime was fatally wounded on one of his tobacco fields several years later. Today, the Partagars Serie D No. 4 is the best-selling Havana cigar in the world. Pollo de Monterrey, 1865, established by a Spaniard named José Gina, Pollo de Monterrey takes its name from the world-famous plantation in Pinar del Rio. Pollo means whole and refers to the low-lying position of the field next to the San Juan y Martinez River, while Monterrey is the name of the first farmer to cultivate tobacco there. H. Upmann, 1844, Hermann Upmann was a German banker who so loved Cuban cigars that he moved to Havana to set up as both a banker and a cigar producer. Although his bank closed in the early 1920s, his cigars live on. Cuba, 1996, although comparatively new, Cuba produces all of its vitolas in the traditional double figurado format, tapered at each end. Most Havana cigars were made in this shape throughout the 19th century and up to 1930, but today they are quite rare. San Cristobal de la Habana, 1999, this brand draws its inspiration from the original name for Havana when it was founded in 1519. San Cristobal, Saint Christopher, after Columbus, and La Habana after the name given to the site by the island's indigenous people. Bolivar, 1902, named after the Venezuelan revolutionary Simon Bolivar, the 19th century liberator of much of South America, and still a hero to many in that part of the world. Punch, 1840, created by a German named Stockmann, Punch was originally aimed firmly at the booming British market. Mr. Punch still adorns most boxes of its cigars. Ramon Alones, 1837. Ramon Alones is credited with developing the use of color lithography on cigar box labels. Hunters and Francois owned the brand from 1911 to 1927. Trinidad, 1969, named after the 16th century city on Cuba's south coast, La Santísima Trinidad, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Launched publicly in 1998 but privately presented to visiting dignitaries and diplomats since 1969. José El Piedra, 1880s, uniquely among export Havana cigars, José El Piedra uses tobacco from Remedios. It also uses short filler tobaccos, making it a noteworthy yet affordable addition to the portfolio. Quintero, 1920s, established by Agustín Quintero and his four brothers in Cienfuegos, a city known as the Pearl of the South. The tobacco used in this brand is short filler and comes from the Vuelta Bajo and Semi-Vuelta zones. Vigaros, 1996, Vigaros translates as farmers, and this brand was introduced as a tribute to the countless generations that have cultivated tobacco in Pinar del Rio. Vegas Robena, 1997, named after one of Cuba's most respected farming families that has been growing tobacco on the same farm since 1845. The Cuchillas de Barbacoa plantation is world famous for the quality of its wrapper leaves. Fonseca, 1890s, founded by Don Francisco Fonseca, a handsome man who cared deeply for appearances. He passed his sartorial precision onto his cigars, which he dressed in silky tissue paper, a tradition that continues to this day. Diplomáticos, 1966, originally launched with a series of cigar sizes and names identical to Monte Cristo. El Rey del Mundo, 1882, immodestly named King of the World. At one time, this brand offered the world's most expensive cigars. Juan López, 1876, founded in Havana by a Spaniard named Juan López Díaz, this brand is now produced in the town of Guayra de Molina, 25 miles south of the capital city. La Flor de Cano, 1932, current production is made by hand but uses short filler tobacco leaves. La Gloria Cubana, 1885, named the Glory of Cuba. This brand is well known for its elegant presentation and range of slim vitolas. Por Larrañaga, 1834, the oldest Cuban cigar brand still in production. Quai d'Orsay, 1973, originally made for the French market. Quai d'Orsay is the name of the avenue in Paris where the headquarters of Seta, the former French tobacco monopoly, was located. Rafael González, 1930s, a favorite of the 20th century British sporting figure, the Earl of Lonsdale, whose name became synonymous with his favorite Cervantes size. St. Louis Rey, 1940s, founded just before the Second World War, only one size still remains in production for this full-flavored brand, the regally titled Regios. Sancho Panza, 1848, named after Don Quixote's faithful squire in Miguel de Cervantes' famous 17th century novel. Brand flavors. Havana cigar brands can be separated into 5 main flavor classifications. The master blenders of each cigar house ensure that each brand has its own signature flavor, so even brands that share the same flavor ranking will have significant differences in taste. Furthermore, the shape and size of the cigar will affect the smoking experience. Full flavor Bolivar, Cohiba Beque, Monte Cristo Linea 1935, Partagas, Ramon Alones, St. Louis Rey, medium to full flavor Cohiba Linea Clásica, Cohiba Maduro 5, Cuba, Diplomáticos, José El Piedra, Juan López, Monte Cristo, Romeo y Julieta Linea de Oro, Vegas Robena, Vigaros, medium flavor Cohiba Linea 1492, La Flor de Cano, La Gloria Cubana, Monte Cristo Open, Punch, Quintero, Romeo y Julieta, Sancho Panza, Trinidad. Light to medium flavor El Rey del Mundo, H. Upmann, Paul Larrañaga, San Cristobal. Light flavor Fonseca, Hoyo de Monterrey, Rafael González, Key Dauce, cigar shapes and sizes. The shortest Havana cigar measures just 3.5, 90 mm, while the longest is over 9 inches, 230 mm, long. In fact, when length, width and all the different brands are taken into account, there are over 300 different Havana cigars. All Havana cigars fit into one of three categories of shape. Parejo, a straight or parallel-sided cigar, which is by far the most usual shape in today's market. Figurado, a cigar that tapers to a point at one end. Often referred to as a torpedo, cigars of this shape are rarer than Parejos, but include some iconic sizes such as the Montecristo No. 2. Double Figurado, a cigar that is tapered at both ends. Also sometimes known as a torpedo or as a perfecto. This is the rarest of the three shapes and is unlikely to be found outside of specialist cigar shops. Havana cigars can also be divided into three groups based on their girth, or ring gauge. Slender, 26 to 39 ring gauge, examples include, Montecristo Joyita, 26, Romeo y Julieta, 33, Bolivar Tubos No. 3, 34, H. Upmann Corona J, 36, Cohiba Corona Special, 38, medium, 40 to 44 ring gauge, examples include, Cohiba Siglo L, 40, Punch Petit Coronation, 40, Montecristo No. 4 or Petit Tubos, 42, H. Upmann Half Corona, 44, heavy, 45 to 60 ring gauge, examples include, Punch, 46, Romeo y Julieta Churchill, 47, Vegas Rabena Famosos, 48, Hoyo de Monterrey Double Corona, 49, Partagás Serie D No. 4, 50. Montecristo No. 2, 52, Cohiba BHK, 56, storing Havana cigars. Havana cigars can be kept for 15 years or more and, like exceptional wines, many will develop and improve with age. However, storing them correctly is vital. If a Havana cigar has been allowed to dry out, it will burn hot and harsh. If it is too wet, it will burn unevenly and be difficult to keep lit. The ideal conditions to store Havana cigars are between 16 degrees Celsius and 18 degrees Celsius and in a relative humidity of 65 to 70%. And there you have it, a glimpse into the captivating world of Cuban cigars. From the rich history to the intricate craftsmanship, these cigars represent a tradition cherished by enthusiasts worldwide. I hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for these exceptional smokes. Remember, the true enjoyment lies in the experience itself. Until next time, may your smokes be smooth and your moments be